Am I the jerk for uninviting my mother-in-law from my wedding after she showed up to my dress fitting in a white gown? I'm getting married in like 6 weeks and I'm losing my mind right now. Sorry this is long, but I need to know if I'm overreacting. So my mother-in-law has been weird about this wedding from the start. Little comments here and there about how quick everything is we've been together 4 years, or how she wishes her son would have married someone from their church. But my fiancé Jake always said she's just being protective and I should ignore it. Anyway, I had my final dress fitting scheduled for last Tuesday. It was supposed to be me, my mom, my sister, and my 2 bridesmaids. That's it. I specifically did not invite my mother-in-law because she's made comments before about my dress choice being too modern and I just wanted one drama-free thing. Well, guess who shows up? She walks in holding a garment bag and I'm like, oh God, what now? She goes, I know I wasn't invited, but I thought you'd want to see what I'm wearing so we don't clash. And before anyone can say anything, she disappears into a changing room. She comes out in a white dress, floor-length, lace, off-white she calls it, but it's white. My mom's face went completely blank. My sister said, you've got to be kidding me, out loud. Mother-in-law does this little spin and goes, what do you think? I wanted something elegant for my son's special day. I couldn't talk. I was standing there in my wedding dress, and she's next to me in basically another wedding dress. My mom asked her point blank if she realizes that's inappropriate, and mother-in-law got all offended like, it's champagne, not white, and besides, I'm the mother of the groom, I should be able to wear something nice. I told her she can't wear that to my wedding. She needs to pick literally any other color. She said I was being a bridezilla and that she already had shoes and jewelry picked out and she's not buying another dress. We went back and forth and finally I said if she shows up in that dress, she's not getting in. She laughed, like actually laughed, and said, you're not going to turn away your husband's mother on your wedding day, don't be dramatic. She left and I had a full breakdown in the fitting room. My mom had to finish pinning my hem because I couldn't stop crying. Here's where it gets worse. I called Jake that night and told him what happened and that I'm serious about uninviting her if she won't change. He got quiet and then said, babe, she already bought the dress. It's not that big of a deal. Can we just let this one go? I'm sorry, what? I asked him if he seriously expects me to have his mother standing next to us in white at our wedding, and he said, it's champagne, she showed me a picture. It's really not that white and you know how she gets. If we uninvite her, she's going to make this so much worse. So basically he wants me to just let her wear white to our wedding to keep the peace. I told him if he's not going to handle this, then I will, and he said I'm being unreasonable, and that every bride has to compromise on something. His exact words were, it's one day she's my mom, just let her have this. Let her have this? It's my wedding day. We've been fighting ever since he thinks I'm being dramatic. I told him if he doesn't uninvite her or tell her to change the dress, then I'm going to, and he said I'll regret causing family drama right before the wedding. My friends are all on my side, but his family is now texting me saying I'm being cruel and that I'm starting the marriage off wrong by being difficult. I'm starting to feel crazy, like maybe I am overreacting. It's just a dress, right? But also, it's white at my wedding. Am I the jerk for threatening to uninvite my mother-in-law over her dress choice? Am I the jerk for filing for divorce after learning my wife planned to end our marriage once she finished night school and possibly college for a second time? My wife, 27 female, and I, 29 male, first met in college and we got married after a year of dating. We have 2 kids together, both work, and she went back to night school several months ago. It came about pretty abruptly, and she wasn't very talkative about her goals with me. I asked, but she told me she just wanted to go back, and why did I feel the need to ask? It made me question if she was using night school as a cover for cheating. But after a bit of time, I saw her study, and she had a physical copy of her class timetable pinned up in our house, so it was legit. But it still felt off to me, because she wouldn't tell me anything about it. There were times I made plans when she was supposed to join her study partners on the weekends, and she'd get so pissed at me for making plans. But I had no idea she was supposed to be studying with others or working on projects. It caused so many fights. Then, her sister, 32 female, who has never liked me and has caused problems before, decided to taunt me about my wife's choice to keep me in the dark. She was the person who taunted that my wife wanted to further her education so she could get a better paying job and divorce me while also becoming our kid's primary parent. She was playing the long game so I would support her through that and make it manageable. I didn't want to believe her because she hates me, so it wouldn't be unlike her to stir shit. I couldn't really argue that it was possible, though. It took me a couple of days of ruminating with it before I asked my wife. At first, she denied it and tried to play it off with, you know my sister hates you. But when I brought up her weird behavior toward me and the secret keeping, she knew I was suspicious, so she tried to say she wasn't happy with us and wanted to better herself, and decided we could wait until after. It turned into a fight because I didn't buy it. When it calmed down, she said she'd be open to working on our marriage after she's finished school in the next few years, but she doesn't want to distract herself from school. She also brought up how we have 2 very young kids at home, so stuff will be weird and not the same, and I just need to give it time. I asked her again if she was using me to support her through school so she could leave me and end our marriage and push me out of our kids' lives. Again, she tried to deny it, but I still didn't believe her because she came up with another excuse of this was her way to help us, and it was just the stress of school and failing that made her angry at me. She confessed by the end of it, and she told me we needed to make this work for another few years, and we could talk then about what would happen after. She said she didn't want to lose her kids to anyone, though, even me. I don't want to be used or live like this for years, so my wife can try to destroy me over, so I filed for divorce and shared custody after retaining my attorney. I told her our marriage was over and there was no more waiting or letting her do this. She didn't expect it and has lost her mind. Her sister has been extra loud because she didn't expect me to do what my wife was planning. They said I shouldn't want to divorce her over like this when it could hurt our kids. My wife has a job. It's not like she was staying home with the kids or doing everything. We split all things in our marriage until she decided to keep secrets. So I'm not going to let her better herself to use it against me. Does that make me a jerk? Am I the jerk for filing for divorce after learning my wife planned to end our marriage once she finished high school and possibly college for a second time? Would I be the jerk if I spoke to my boss and asked him to tell my coworker to stop bringing her kids into the office? I, female 23, work in a small office of 5 people. My coworker, female 40, brought her kids, female 5 and female 9, into the office last week. It was absolutely chaos the days they were there. Her kids are sweet but loud, bickering, watching shows on full volume with no headphones, running around the office, picking up phones and hanging up on customers, generally being children. I have sensory issues and the noise made very hard for me to focus and do my work. I actually delayed several of my responsibilities to later days because I genuinely could not operate. Part of that is on me, sure, and I'm working on that type of thing on my own, already being able to handle overstimulating situations and such. But is this normal for an office? I have never worked in this type of setting, but chose it in part because I expected it to be quiet and predictable. I am customer service. I deal with a lot of the same questions over and over and can have scripts for the most common conversations. I have worked here for just over 2 years, and this is not an isolated occurrence. Multiple times she has brought the older one for a full day or the younger one for a small part of the day, but this time both children were present the entire workday, 8 HRs. Conveniently, our boss is out of office whenever she does this, which makes me wonder if he knows would approve. I don't want to be seen as snitching, but it really impacts my ability to work and customers feel awkward. I mean, to elementary schoolers, running around in pajamas are not what you expect to find in an office. The most recent time she brought her kids, it was for the full day and both children were coughing and sounding sick all day. Lo and behold, I wake up this morning with a sore throat and a chest full of mucus. I have asthma, so any respiratory infections can be worse for me than others. I also have histamine issues, so getting sick flares up a bunch of other symptoms for me as well. I'm really frustrated because I take a lot of precautions to avoid being sick, but being trapped in a small space with 2 sick children for 8 hours is no match for my disinfectants. This was really the final straw that pushed me to think about bringing it up to our boss. Another of our coworkers is pregnant. I'm hoping she did not also get sick. She has not come in for unrelated reasons since the kids' last visit here. Would I be the jerk if I brought these things up to my boss? I don't have kids, so I have no idea what it's like, and one of our other coworkers, Make 50, brings his dog. And I don't mind that, so I don't want to come across as hypocritical or insensitive to the needs of being a parent. He's out of office this whole week, so I have time to think about what I should do. So would I be the jerk if I spoke to my boss and asked him to tell my coworker to stop bringing her kids into the office? Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit stories. All rights belong to the original author. This video is for narration or entertainment purposes only.